Our first weapon showcase, we are going to talk about the Bolt Carbine Marksman version. Now, this gun in general is a bit underpowered in the game. It is much better than the standard version and is a viable option on lethal for advanced players. I would not recommend this gun for any beginner to the game or anything like that. I think you just won't have as much fun. So you definitely pick a different gun if you are a beginner to the game. But it's going to come down to a point where you do have to level up this weapon, and you're going to want to go with the Marksman version on both the tactical and the sniper. Overall, you're just going to have to get your hands dirty with this weapon. You're going to have to be in there mixing up your melee damage, hitting with your pistol, and doing everything to benefit you in the game just to make this a viable option on lethal, but it will pull you through. Just a big different playstyle for both of the classes that have this gun available to them, and we will go over both playstyles. We'll go into the builds that I like to use on both the classes that can use this weapon. And like I said, not a beginner-friendly gun, definitely for more advanced players, but it can get you through on lethal. So let's get into more of the Bolt Carbine Marksman version. When it comes to the Bolt Carbine perk tree, it really is just an average perk tree. I don't really think it has anything that is extremely exciting or stands out as something that you have to take. So for myself, I run the same setup when I run it on the sniper and the tactical. I was going for the bottom row right here because I really just wanted the increased damage, just to give this gun every opportunity I could to be as powerful as it could be. And then I also like the bottom line for the increased ammo reserve and the increased magazine size. And then the only where I deviated up once was for the headshot of 10% more damage. And then it does start with a 10% damage to boss level enemies or terminus level enemies, but it's still very average when it comes to the boss department overall. So like I said, the perk tree, nothing special on this gun. This is how I like to run mine. Always double check down in the comments and make sure somebody doesn't have a anything to say that would more fit a playstyle that you have. But for my playstyle personally, this is the one I like to run on both classes. For our sniper perks with the Bolt Carbine Marksman, now usually I do really love, actually I do love all these perks in this tree, to tell you the truth, but for this build we are going melee mastery for melee damage increases by 10% against major enemies. Like I said, you are getting your hands dirty with this weapon. You will be using your melee options a lot more as the sniper with the Bolt Carbine Marksman, so that is going to be an important one. And then we have remaining stationary for 2 seconds increases your primary weapon's damage by 20 seconds, or by 20%. Just take advantage of that as much as you can, but don't concentrate on just trying to stand still, because you are going to have to move around a lot with this weapon for sure. And then we have Bolt Carbines reload 15% faster. Unfortunately, there's just really nothing else in this row to take that's going to benefit you at all. And you will reload sometimes, but we're mostly going to use our stealth cloak for reloading. And then we have Squad Renewal. A headshot kill restores ability charge by 10%. Just that's usually top pick on the sniper right there. And then we have Efficient Readiness. Manually activating camo cloak automatically reloads ranged weapons. So this one right here I find pretty important for the Bolt Carbine in general. I find it pretty important for basically any gun that is not the La Fusel on the sniper, because you can just activate your cloak and instantly fire, get out of your cloak, so you're not really wasting any of your cloak time, and you're also getting a free reload out of it. So very, very strong perk, and especially for this gun, and you'll use it on your pistol a lot as well. And then we have Targeted Shot. The first ranged attack that breaks camo cloak deals 75% more damage. As I said, you're in and out of your cloak constantly. Just don't sit there trying to get a headshot every single time and waste valuable cloak time trying to line up a headshot. Just really go into your cloak and just hope that you get a headshot. Just make sure you get a hit in general and take advantage of the 75%. And then we have Lingering Concealment. After performing an attack that breaks camo cloak, you remain hidden for 2 seconds. So extremely important when you're tying it to this, because you're using this to reload, and then you're gaining an extra 2 seconds to refill your cloak just a little bit more, and it just helps keeping your cloak in balance and up a lot. And then we have Emergency Override. When you receive lethal damage, camo cloak automatically activates without spending charge, and you become invulnerable for 5 seconds. Overall, just one of the strongest signatures in the game, so I would always take that one right there. For the bolt carbine and how we are using it on the sniper is we are taking advantage of our cloak reload ability and our perks. So we are using our cloak to reload, instantly breaking our cloak with a shot to continue to have our cloak available to us. Anybody new to the sniper, how the cloak ability works is as soon as you break it, that is where its recharge timer starts. So the quicker you break it, the quicker you are going to get your cloak back. So if it's not a detriment to yourself, you're going to want to be in your cloak and breaking your cloak as quickly as you can. And basically you're just going in your cloak every time you need to reload. Instantly reload right when you do that. You're taking advantage of the extra 2 seconds that you have in your cloak to refill your cloak even faster, and you're going to be basically be able to go in and out of your cloak as much as you want to reload your weapon. And it's very important for the bolt carbine in general, and it's going to help you with your pistol and just all types of things like that. So with this weapon, like I said, it is more for an advanced type of player. It's going to take a lot more effort to make this weapon viable on lethal than most of the other weapons in the game. So for the sniper, like I said, I found the best way is you're going to have to really get your hands dirty. You're going to have to get in there. You're going to have to do a lot of melee damage. You're going to have to mix in your pistol and then use your bolt carbine marksman every time that you see at least three major enemies, and then really, put out as much damage as you can that way, using your cloak ability as much as you can while you're using the gun. Use it while you're in your melee. The main thing, you're just trying to gain aggro, lose aggro, gain aggro, lose aggro. So they really don't know what they're doing. They're running towards you, then they're running away from you. So that is kind of how you're going to want to set it up when you are running with this weapon right here, to really keep your life up and just to be able to deal enough damage with your melee options and your pistol. With the tactical and the perks I like to run when I am running the bolt carbine marksman, we are starting with balanced distribution. Your primary weapon deals 10% more damage, but your secondary weapon deals 10% less damage. Now, I know that the bolt gun and bolt weapons penetrate one more enemy does sound appealing, but mostly with this weapon, I am trying to focus on major enemies, so I'm really not taking much advantage of the penetration, and I really want more damage on this weapon as much as I can get. And then we have versatility, basically to deal with this 10% less damage. We're adding 20% onto our secondary to at least have a 10% increase to the secondary and not have this detriment of 10% less damage, due to the fact that you do have to use your secondary a lot. You're using your pistol a lot when you have this gun. Like I said, it is a bit underpowered, so you do have to mix in all of your options. And then we have Emperor's Vengeance. Killing a major level enemy restores your primary weapon's ammo by 1 magazine, just a strong perk. You can go with Transhuman Physiology. This is normally what I take on a lot of my builds, but for this weapon, as I said, I'm trying to add as much damage as possible, so I'm going aligned aim. And overall, everybody on your team having 5% more range damage is not a horrible thing. And then we have Priority Targeting, getting the Auspic scan to last double its time, another 8 seconds. And then we have a Battle Focus. A perfectly timed parry gives the parried enemy a mark from the scan. Now, for Battle Focus, basically I like Battle Focus when I am going against Tyranid enemies, and then I more like Precise Calibration when I'm going against Chaos enemies. I feel like against the Tyranids, I'm getting a lot more parries on majors, and I'm really scanning like all of them from getting perfect parries. But with here, I'm more trying to keep my distance and firing on the Chaos enemies. So usually with Chaos, I will go a Precise Calibration. But that is up to you. If you're parrying Chaos enemies a lot, then I would say this one is still going to be stronger. And then next up we have Expert Timing. Enemies marked by the scan take an additional 100% damage, but the mark duration is reduced by 4 seconds. And that's why we take this, so our scan is still 12 seconds strong. And then we have Mark for Death. A headshot will instantly kill a major or extremist level enemy marked by the scan. Just a very strong perk right there. On the tactical, I wish there was some kind of magical strategy I can give you, but honestly it is very similar to every other weapon you ever have ran on the tactical, but you are going to be lacking firepower. So the main strategy is that you are staying mid-range, hitting headshots as much as possible with the carbine, using it in dire situations when you need it. And then also you have to mix in a lot of pistol and melee into your gameplay. You can't just run through with your primary ranged weapon even with the tactical, you will run out of ammo with this weapon due to the lack of firepower that it does have. So as long as you're mixing in your pistol and your melee into your gameplay and not going crazy with your carbine and wasting through all your ammo, it will get you through on lethal. Just you have to be much more ammo conscious on this character than you're used to, and you really have to be a lot more versatile than, you know, some people may already play that way, but some people may rely heavily on the primary weapon, and with this weapon you just cannot do that.